Hello, hello, everyone. This is your friend, Imogene Nelson. I'm coming to you with a moment with Imogene, and we're doing 5 lessons. We're on lesson number 2 on leading through adversity. And so right now, as we know, we're all in some type of adversity. And the only thing adversity means is some type of difficulties or misfortune. And that's what adversity is, when you're having difficulties or misfortunes. And we're talking about leading through it. So who is a leader? A leader is anyone that is connected, that has any type of connection to another human being. And all of us are influencers. All of us are leaders because we always are connected to someone. So you're always influencing someone, whether good, bad, or indifferent, whether you want to or not, you're always influencing someone. And it's not always by what you say that is going to be the influence, it's by what you do. And that is really the bigger way to influence someone, is by what you do and modeling. That's a form of influence, is modeling. And so, but how we get people to follow us, and it's a multitude of things that you would have to put into place. Whether people are going to follow you, whether you are because they care for you themselves, there's something about you they care about, or because they care for you in an indirect way, because maybe somebody introduced you to this other person, and they like the other person, so they will, in a sense, you will have a certain amount of influence just because the person that introduced you. But believe me, that type of influence only lasts a very short while, because you have to have you have to stand on your own character and your own integrity. And so with that, so we are all leaders in some kind of way. We're always influencing someone in some kind of way, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. And so we are struggling with right now with situations because of the unknown, right? We don't know what all this is. This is new to the nation. We don't know what's going on. We don't know completely how this is going to end up. This is our first go around. So all of us is kind of in this space of newness, unknown. What's going to happen? Oh, this happened now. Oh, it's not getting better. It is getting better. It's not getting better. So all these fluctuations are happening, and we're just so uncertain. So with that uncertainty, our minds begin to wander. We begin to have these negative thinkings. We become uncertain, and we have uncertain anxiety that begins to happen to us because of all these things that are going on in the world that we just cannot put our hands on, because for one, it's really new. It's totally out of our comfort zones. But again, as I mentioned yesterday, in that comfort zone, you can learn what is it that what role you play in this world with this. We all are playing a role. We may not be developing the ventilators, but how are we helping our brother and sister? How are we playing a part in keeping the virus contained? What are we doing? How are we leading people in our jobs, those who are telecommuting? How are you still showing integrity in your place of work and working and still moving the needle to get the job done for where you work at, and not just saying, well, I'm not doing anything, but really showing that place of integrity that I'm doing everything that I can. So whatever you're doing, it looks like a multitude of things. We got to keep our kids educated. So that means, am I going to take the time and not say it's just the teachers that have to do that? Am I going to take the time to really make sure my child is being challenged with their mind still? Are we having this time that we can talk with each other and have family time with one another? So it's just a multitude of things that we can do to make sure that we are remaining good leaders during this time of adversity. And so John had mentioned John Maxwell, and this is one of his trainings that he did here on Facebook. And me being a certified John Maxwell leadership trainer and coach and speaker. This is one of the lessons that he has beckoned us to go out and share your part, share how you're getting through these times of adversity, or even in the past, because our past, how we deal with things in the past are usually some clues of how we need to move forward, because there's always room for improvement, but there are some lessons that we learned that can set the foundation, right? So, but what John has said, he acknowledged that a crisis is a distraction for leaders. For all those in our household, this has been a complete distraction for us. We have to learn new things really quick. We have to do things a different way really quick. So we're kind of figuring, okay, are we safe? Are we not? We're just totally distracted. We're looking left, we're looking right. What are we doing? We're trying to figure out things really fast and keep the needle moving towards where we want to go, right? It said it pulls leaders away from their life focus towards something else. So we're getting distracted, we're getting pulled. And so if we're not careful, only thing we'll think about, oh my God, it's the coronavirus is here, and nothing else is going to happen in life, and this is just the way it's going to be, and it's the end. But it's really not. We can't let this virus distract us in a sense of just thinking this is the only thing, that the horrible part of it only. We got to think about how do we get beyond. And that's why I'm really so thankful for those individuals, those nurses and those doctors and all those people that they have the work that is essential, that they still have to go out and do those things. Like my son, he's a railroad conductor, so he still has to get out there because things still have to flow from stores to stores, and so he's still out there, and I'm so appreciative of them because they are like in our front line doing those things that right now where we are shelter in place in our home, but they are continue to do all those things and kind of face the ideas of possibility they can be more exposed to the coronavirus than we are, because it's kind of their essential work, right? And so, but then we can get distracted in those things. Of me being a mother, I can get so distracted. Oh my God, my son is out there, and this is going to happen to him, and that's going to happen to him, and I can just focus it on that place. But what I can do by do that, I'm going to fall into anxiety. I'm going to fall into depression. I'm going to have just be overcome with fear. And really, what is that going to do? What is that going to do for me? What is it going to do for my grandkids? What it's going to do for my daughter-in-law? What it's going to do for my family? It's going to take away. Distractions just take away from what it is that you need to be focusing on, because we'll go into this panic. We'll go into a panic of, oh, what is it that I need to do? Because then we begin to focus on, our minds begin to wander. It's like thinking about what could happen. It's like I call it the what ifs. We get so focused on the what ifs that we'll have this whole scenario in our minds of what we believe is going to happen. Tell me this, how many of you have had this whole scenario made in your mind, thinking about, because you're so anxious, you're stressed, this is going to happen because of this one thing, this is going to happen. How many of you have done that? And then when it comes down to it, when you kind of get through it, none of that is even the case. None of it. It's not even the case, because our mind is just wondering, and we're going through these what ifs, these things that, like I said, most of it never come to pass. I would say probably about 98% of it never comes to pass. But we're all in our minds, we're being so distracted about it. Or then we have that negative thinking, feeling as if everything that could go wrong is going to go wrong. It's like everything is going to go wrong. Oh my God, the world is coming to an end. You kind of hear people say that the world is coming to an end. Well, not mine. I'm not going to buy into that negative thinking. Right now, this is a horrible time, and especially too for those families who actually have loved ones that actually have the virus itself. This is a horrible time for them. And so, but what we can do is send our prayers out to them. Make sure we call. We may not know their names, but God does know their name. So we can say a prayer for them and not think the worst. Send them good thoughts. Send them good thoughts. Don't condemn them, or anyone for that matter, thinking like just because our thoughts are going to be negative. Because with your thoughts, your actions will follow your thoughts. It's like your emotions will rule your emotions. So your emotions will rule your emotions because we have those negative thoughts. What's going to happen is that you're going to start feeling depressed. How, when you're in a state of depression, and I know we've all experienced some form of depression. I know I have. And when I feel depressed, I literally begin to shut down everything, my creative juices. I don't want to move. I don't have the energy to go anywhere. I'm just feeling like I'm tied down. I feel totally trapped in that moment. And I'm not doing anything productive. I'm not leading the way. I'm just sitting there. And remember, every leader has influence. So who am I influencing that when they're watching me, when there's adversity hits, when there's crisis hits, who am I influencing to say you shut down, you get depressed, you give up, you throw in the towel? I don't want to influence my legacy that way. I want to let them know you move forward full charge. You move forward full charge. You think into this as you know that it will get better. It will get better. You know, the Bible said we go through the valley of the shadow of death. Yeah, we have to go through it. Yes, it's going to be scary. Yes, it's going to be unknown. Yes, it's going to cause us some heartache. Yes, we're probably going to cry. Yes, we're probably going to get mad. Yes, yes, yes to all that. But you're going through it. Keep your eyes on the prize. And it helps with that negative thinking. Keep your eye on the prize. And then the last one is just uncertain anxiety. Fear of the unknown, which amplifies fear because you don't understand what is going to happen. You're going, I don't know. This is new to us. So in your mind, again, it kind of goes back to our mind wandering. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. So therefore, you know, the world must be coming to an end because I didn't hear different scenarios why this is happening. You know what? I don't know why this is happening, but I trust God that I'm going to use wisdom in what I'm doing and how I lead my life. But I leave that to God. He knows what's going on. I'm just going to do my part in being proactive in my dealings with my family, the things that we need, and the people that I touch, the people that I talk to. That is not going to stop. Corona cannot stop the love I have for people. Corona cannot stop my clients that I'm coaching. But Corona cannot stop that because that is love. Love abounds all. I'm just throwing that in free of charge. Just know that love abounds all. So if you can move through all these things on the heels of love, on the heels of faith, on the heels of wisdom. So in saying that, you know, this is kind of reminding me of these things. When I was the first in my family to graduate from college. So I was a first generation college student. And when I remember being in school, I used to just think like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. I don't see myself at the end of at graduation day. You know, I'm not going to make who I'm going to ask these questions. I was an accounting major. I was a business major with an emphasis in accounting. Until I started that major, I hadn't even really heard of it, knew about it. That was not in my life vocabulary at that time. But that was the path that God put me on. So I'm going through this and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And my mind began to wonder, but I remember how to say, okay, no. Yes, you can. And I used to watch people. I used to watch others that were in my courses, that were in my classes, my professors. Okay, what are they doing? How are they doing? I was looking for ways, how do I maneuver through this process? They were influencing me in a way that they didn't even know it, right? But it was my crisis because it was so unknown to me. It felt like, what do I do? I was getting all the assignments right. I was getting A's in my class. I was getting those assignments. But the reality of life, that's book reality, but the reality of life, I couldn't see, like, how do I get in some office? How do I don't even know what that looks like. And so I began to say all this negative thinking. You know, I didn't grow up around people that spoke about being in business, that spoke about how do you take care of this, how do you make money, how do you maintain a budget. That was all foreign to me. So I was thinking, you know, in my mind, I had to battle these thoughts. I had to battle these thoughts saying that that was something that I had never done before. And I remember, I'm going to share this quick story. It was a professor of mine. He was an African-American professor. He was in finance. And he was talking to me one day and he said, I can't really remember all what he was asking me, but because my mind was focused on the negative, my mind was wondering, and had all this uncertain anxiety because it was all new to me. I was going into my little pity party, and I remember telling him, and like I told many people before that, oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't even know business term. I don't know how business work. And I was just kind of going into this whole pity party with him, why I couldn't. And that professor looked me straight in my face. Excuse my French, super Christian. He said, I don't give a shit what you're talking about right now. He said, nobody gives a shit about your story in that sense. He said, they care about what you're going to produce. Either you're going to produce it or you not. That shook me out of my boots. At that moment, my feelings were hurt. I cried because nobody had ever taken the time to snap me into reality, to know, get a grip, focus on that, focus on that goal, and bring yourself, don't let your mind be wandering what you cannot do and why you cannot do it. Stay focused on the goal. You're going to go through this. You just take one step ahead of the other and you will make it. And I appreciated that faculty member so much because it was in that moment that he snapped me back. And he and made me realize that through all the adversity that I had lived in my life, my future wasn't in that part of my life. My future was in the future. I just had to keep my mind focused on the goal and not be fearful of what could and could not happen. Things are going to happen. You cannot get away from things happening. But it's when they are happening, what you do with it at that point in time. What are you doing with this point in time where we're in shelter in place? What are you doing that is going to help you get through these times? You know, like, what are you doing right now that can help you? So I got a question for you. This is my question. Okay, what are some good ways a leader can maintain focus during times of distraction? What are some good ways that a leader can maintain focus during some time of distraction? I want you to put that in the comments, because what you have to say, you're influencing someone. Don't ever give up the opportunity to influence someone else's life, especially in a good way, in a positive way. And there's a couple of things that I had to answer this question with. It's like establishing good habits. You know, because during this time, because like I mentioned in my last video, it's about reflection. Like, some of these habits that I have are not going to get me to where I'm going. So this slow down time, I'm appreciative of it, because these habits that I have is not going to get me to point to the Z. You know, I have to get there, but it only depends on the habits that I'm creating. So what a better time than right now to say, okay, this is adversity. I know I'm going to have some adversity later again in life one day. Why not develop those habits and those things now, how to deal with these things, how to deal with these different distractions that come in your life? Developing those habits. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to make sure? And like I told you before, one of mine is I need to get up an hour earlier. I need to get up an hour. I need that time. I work best in the morning. That is going to help me get my head clear, give my time for give me the time to be in the prayer, give my time for some devotion, give my time to get a little exercise in. So that is going to help me. That is a way that I can develop a new habit. Another one is to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace, but not excuses. Give yourself grace, but not excuses. Don't beat yourself up and do all this negative self-talk to yourself and beat yourself down and make yourself feel worse until you fall into depression. Give yourself grace. Love on yourself. There is some win in there. Focus on that win and move forward. So it's not an excuse. I messed up. Okay, I messed up. I didn't get up and do the exercise today. I'm not going to call myself, oh, you're just lazy and you're never going to do it. If I did that, that's what I'm going to do. My emotions and my motions they're going to follow each other, right? They're friends. So I have to make sure to give myself grace, but not excuses. And the last one is to stay present and keep my goals in mind. Keep my goals in mind. No matter what is going on here, I know what my goal is. I know what I want. I know what my heart desires. I know the purpose that God has for my life. I know it. So no matter, even if I get distracted and I have to get back on track, because that will happen, I know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm going to keep moving because I learned from babies. If I keep getting up, I will learn how to walk. I keep walking, I will learn how to run. So that's just a moment with Imogene. And we are again talking about distractions. Battling distractions during crisis. Battling distractions during crisis. So again, this is your friend Imogene. You have a very blessed day. Take care now. Bye.